Hey guys, thanks for checking the video out. Today we're going to be discussing and reviewing the Symphony of Blades monster set found in the Veteran Depths of Molitar. And this set hasn't actually really been noticed, or it's kind of flown under the radar by a lot of people because a lot of us, including myself, looked at the set on the PTS and was like, this set's definitely garbage. It's not really going to compare to Sentinel. But after using it on live, I've come to a sort of different conclusion for this set, and it hasn't really changed since the PTS of Wrathstone PTS 4.3.0. It's pretty much remained exactly the same, exact same cooldown, exact same resource return, and so on. So we're going to be looking at how it works and where we should use it as a support role, whether it's a tank or healer, and if it actually is the next best support set available for us as ESO players in trials or 4-mans. Now, to review, the Symphony of Blades Visage, the Symphony of Blades Undaunted set gives you a 2% healing done, which isn't too bad for healers, for the 1-piece bonus, and the 2-piece bonus says, when you heal an ally who is under 50% of their primary resource, grant them Meridia's favor, restoring 23-25 magic stamina, whichever maximum is higher, every 1 second for 6 seconds. Once that procs, this effect can occur every 18 seconds, so 6 seconds through the cooldown, you're going to have 12 seconds left until the next active Meridia's favor takes over. Now, we're going to dissect this set apart a little bit. It says when you heal an ally. It specifically says when you heal an ally, and typically when in ESO you look at tooltips saying that, it also includes yourself. However, surprisingly, when you do this, when you try to proc Meridia's favor on yourself, it does not work. It actually only works on other people, which is pretty great because as tanks or even sometimes as healers in trials, there are times when you proc Sentinel outside of the group and it goes to you. I know that they try to address this issue, this patch, but on live so far I've seen no indication of it going to other people most of the time still. It still comes to me as a healer, it still comes to me as a tank, and it's very frustrating for you to be trying to give the Sentinel buff to everyone else, but it still stays on you. So in that regard, Symphony may actually be better in terms of targeting. So if you know this, Sentinel says when you heal friendly target, you have a 10% chance to summon a Dormir spider. Now, the wording's a little ambiguous between ally and friendly target, but I'm going to assume friendly target means everyone, including yourself, and ally means strictly another person. Alright, and the resource return on Sentinel, well, mathematically speaking, it's going to be about 4,000 over 8 seconds. So it says 506 stamina every second for the next 8 seconds in a 5-meter radius. And as far as I know, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it has a 6% cap, but I haven't really confirmed it yet as of this patch. But I am going to assume, just like everything else, like Lord Warden and so on, it has a 6% cap. So we're going to assume it gives 6 people 506 stamina back, along with 1,165 health every second. Now, in terms of the healing output, it's nothing compared to Bogdan, but that's kind of irrelevant. So that's 4,000 over 8 seconds in terms of stamina, and also that's in about a minute and 30 fight, 90 seconds combat time. That's 48,576 stamina back total to each person, to each of the 6 people every minute and 30. So in comparison to that, Symphony in 7 seconds, one person will get back 13,950 stamina, or whichever their primary resources, Magicka, if they're Magicka DPS, they'll get about almost 14,000 in 7 seconds. And then in a 90-second fight, a minute and 30 fight, which is typical for most trial boss fights like the Lightning Storm Atro or even Rocco 2 for most groups, it's going to be like 97,000 total to that one person. But assuming that's assuming you're the only one running Symphony. Now, I'm sure that in most cases, Sentinel is actually going to be better than Symphony depending on the fight, and this is very key here. I think Symphony is actually better than Sentinel depending on the fight, and depending also on how many of your supports are wearing Symphony. Ironically enough, the name also says Symphony. Ironically enough, in order for Symphony to be really good, it has to be worn in Symphony by multiple people. So I would say at least 3 support roles would have to wear Symphony on fights where you don't really require too much healing. Obviously the Hunter Killers in VHOF are out of the question, but I'm talking more about the Craglorn trials. I'm talking more about where healing isn't really needed. There's a lot of fights like that where as a tank or even as a healer, I kind of just look at my monster sets and I'm like, okay, what can I wear this time? Oh, well, look, I can wear Bloodspawn. Oh, look, I can wear Bogdan, I guess. I mean, there's nothing much else to do. So honestly, for those kinds of fights, Symphony might actually be best in slot, especially if you have nothing else to wear. The conditions are met, and I did confirm earlier with some testing that this set does not proc on overhealing, same as Sentinel. Sentinel does not proc on overhealing, so if someone's at 100% health, neither of these sets will proc. However, there is an advantage of Symphony. Even if you're in a fight where you're not taking any sort of damage at all, Symphony will still proc, because most people these days in most raid groups are running Stamina Nightblades or Magic Nightblades. Now we have to look at their passives. In terms of the Shadow passive, if they have one Shadow bar, one Shadow ability on one bar, and they bar swap to the other bar, they will actually take a health dip because their Shadow ability is giving them more health on that one bar where it is on. So when they swap bars, Symphony will proc, even if they're not taking any damage. So yes, this can also apply to people using Spell Sim as Max Orcs in fights where they're not taking any sort of damage. So in that regard, Symphony is probably a little bit more consistent than Sentinel. And as I stated earlier, it's probably better if multiple supports wear it. So far this patch, I've tested it and it's really great. The reason why I brought up the minute 30 fight combat time earlier was because one night I was in AA with other supports testing stuff out, and after testing Symphony, in that 90-second fight, just one of our sets, just one, procced 7 times. Total during the entire fight, 7 times. And if you do the math on it, that's like a shitload of resources gained back. Assuming there's like 3 supports running Symphony in such fights, that's like almost potentially 300,000 stamina back or magicka back total in 90 seconds to multiple people every 12 seconds. So this set I don't think should be underestimated. I think people should kind of sort of look at this set and try testing it out in fights where it would be appropriate. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Thanks so much for watching this video. As always, stay safe and have a great adventure. I'll see you guys next time.